Dragon Ball Z is a beloved anime series that has captivated audiences around the world for decades. Along with the anime, the franchise has produced a plethora of video games that have allowed fans to immerse themselves in the world of Goku, Vegeta, and their friends and foes. In this video, we will be exploring the evolution of Dragon Ball Z games, from their earliest days on the NES to their current state on modern consoles. We'll be taking a look at the various gameplay styles, graphics, and mechanics that have evolved over time, and discussing how each game contributed to the franchise's legacy. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a newcomer to the series, join us as we take a trip down memory lane and explore the evolution of Dragon Ball Z games. Subscribe to Deli Ellie and see the entire world in one go. To avoid missing any future videos, subscribe and click the bell icon. Dragon Ball Z is one of the most iconic and influential anime series of all time. Created by Akira Toriyama, the series debuted in Japan in 1989 and quickly became a worldwide phenomenon. The story follows the adventures of Goku, a warrior from the planet Vegeta, as he defends the Earth against a wide variety of powerful villains. Over the years, Dragon Ball Z has spawned numerous video games, with each new release pushing the boundaries of what is possible in terms of graphics, gameplay, and storytelling. The evolution of Dragon Ball Z games. The first Dragon Ball Z game was released in 1993 for the Famicom console in Japan. Developed by DOS and published by Bandai, the game was a side-scrolling action game that followed the plot of the SAIYAN and Frieza sagas. The game was well received by fans and critics, but it was only the beginning of what would become a long and storied history of Dragon Ball Z games. Over the years, Dragon Ball Z games have evolved in numerous ways. Graphics have gone from pixelated 2D sprites to fully realized 3D models, with incredible attention to detail. Gameplay has gone from simple side-scrolling beat-em-ups to complex fighting games, with a wide variety of moves and strategies. And the stories have expanded to include not only the events of the anime and manga, but also original stories that explore new aspects of the Dragon Ball Z universe. One of the most significant changes in Dragon Ball Z games has been the shift from 2D to 3D graphics. The first Dragon Ball Z game to feature 3D graphics was Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, which was released in 1995 for the PlayStation console. While the graphics were primitive by today's standards, the game was a significant step forward in terms of visual fidelity. Over the years, Dragon Ball Z games continued to push the boundaries of what was possible with 3D graphics, culminating in games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which features stunning visuals that faithfully recreate the look and feel of the anime. Another significant change in Dragon Ball Z games has been the shift from simple beat-em-up gameplay to complex fighting games. The first Dragon Ball Z game to feature fighting game mechanics was Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden, which was released in 1993 for the Super Famicom console in Japan. The game featured a simple fighting system with only a few basic moves, but it set the stage for future Dragon Ball Z fighting games. Over the years, Dragon Ball Z fighting games have become increasingly complex, with each new release introducing new mechanics, moves, and strategies. The latest Dragon Ball Z game to be released is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which was developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Released in January 2020 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is an action RPG that follows the events of anime and manga. The game is set in an open-world environment that allows players to explore the Dragon Ball Z universe at their leisure. Dragon Ball Z KYOSHU SAIYAN. One of the most well-known Japanese TV card cartoons is Goku, which inspired the creation of numerous games. Dragon Ball Z Super Goku Dentatsuga Hen has a lot of admirers and is a somewhat humorous role-playing game. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. The meteor moves in the GamePros magazine was criticized by the reviewer as being among the least expensive and longest-lasting special moves in fighting game history. Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure received a score from the audience in Japan of 3 7s and 1 8, for a total of 29 out of 40. Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Dragon Ball Z Sagas received an overall Metacritic score of 52 out of 100 in the game rankings. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. On the day of the game's release, GameStop gave an exclusive version with a bonus DVD for the game that featured the top 10 television series bouts as voted by fans. Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Salinas. Attack of the Science is the third best-selling video game in Japan during May 2009, trailing only Kingdom Hearts 3,582 Days and Ace Attorney. Dragon Ball Online. With the rule of a villain passing to a party led by Mira and Towa, who were originally characters created expressly for this game, Dragon Ball Online takes set in the year 1000, which is technically 216 years after the Buu saga. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z gave the game an overall score of 6.6 out of 10 while criticizing the limited combat and the uneven teams in battlement, and praised the graphics as a co-op mod. GameStop gave the game a score of 4 out of 10. Dragon Ball Xenoverse. After Dying Light, Dragon Ball Xenoverse was the second best-selling game for the PlayStation 4 on the PlayStation Store in February 2015. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. According to Mojo, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is a fascinating anime game with a distinctive and ambitious premise that should be familiar to fans of the Dragon Ball Z series. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ has been nominated for 13 awards and has won 5 of them, all of which are deserving of its tagline. Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission is a tactical card combat game that does include characters from the complete Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. In its first week of release, the album sold more than 1.5 million copies worldwide, making it a commercial triumph. Dragon Ball The Breakers. And finally, you can see that no matter what modification Dragon Ball The Breakers has, it feels like a distinct portion of it has been set aside for the online multiplayer free fighting style, which was extremely apparent in its early gameplay as well. And that's a wrap on the evolution of Dragon Ball Z games. We hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane and learned something new about the franchise's history. From the earliest days of the NES to the modern era of the PS5, Dragon Ball Z games have come a long way in terms of gameplay, graphics, and mechanics. But one thing remains constant: the franchise's enduring popularity and impact on pop culture. Which Dragon Ball Z game was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Deli Belly for more cool gaming updates videos on your favorite video games.